You ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Roundtable. My name is Robert Bannon. You're listening to us on the Broadway Podcast Network or watching us on Broadway World. You're over here on social media. So as you know, I have quite the affinity for the Green Room 42. I have spent my own time. I recorded a live album right there in the middle of the Green Room 42. It is the best artisan pizza, a little outdoor moment, a little drink. Well, drinks is what this is about. You know how many friends I know who would love nothing more than to go see a cabaret show and be drunk as a skunk? I think my shows are much better when you're drunk. I sound much better when I'm drunk. Well, what we're here, Robert's going to be here, and listen, he's an actor, he's a singer, he's a comedian, he's a YouTube creator, and apparently he knows how to make a mean drink. So Robert Driemeyer, welcome to the show.
Hello, good to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited that December 1st, you are going to be singing, telling jokes, and serving drinks.
Yes, a boozy brunch on Sunday, December 1st, and we're going to tick all those boxes. Yes.
What do you do, Robert? How did you learn how to make a drink? What makes you a bartender?
Well, Broadway Barfly, not to go back too far, was my COVID project. Everything shut down. I was here at home wondering, what am I going to do with myself? And I put a video up on Facebook, actually, to start with, where I talked about Auntie Mame and the cocktails featured in it. I made myself a sidecar, showed people how to do it, and it got a little bit of traction. And I thought, well, I'm going to do this. So I kept doing these videos of show and cocktail pairings. Eventually, I moved it on YouTube. And once the theater started happening again, I worked with my friends at Boundless Theater to make a show that we could put up. So to your question, how do I become a bartender? I started out as a hobbyist, a cocktail enthusiast, and then I taught myself.
So can I ask you, do you have a signature drink?
Not particularly, not like a Broadway Barfly cocktail. I have my favorites, I drink a lot of Manhattans on my own. And I guess I did make kind of a signature spin on a Manhattan. I did a video of it. I call it my Black Forest Manhattan, where I add Luxardo, cherry syrup a little bit, and chocolate bitters. So yeah, I can call that my signature cocktail.
Do people come over to your home? Are you like, even in your house? Well, if I came over for dinner, you're going to be mixing up a drink? Like, this has become your thing?
I have a liquor cabinet that would put most to shame at this point, because I've just collected the bottles for the things. And I've gotten to a point where I've had some people send me bottles of stuff to use. So yeah, I'm pretty well stocked. There's very little that I could not make for you. Well, required a syrup or something I needed to make in advance.
It sounds like a party to me. I love that the show is on a Sunday. I love that the show is at 1:00. And I love the show is at Green Room, because I think they have fun food and they have good drinks there as well. Right. So you have the option that you can have a flight of drinks. So how did that come about? What is being served? What can you tell us about this whole entire event?
Well, the show itself is structured like a traditional cabaret show, but it's built around telling the stories of vintage cocktails that actually come from Broadway or New York nightlife in some way. For example, a Florodora was named after Florodora Girls, which were the chorus line of an old turn of the century musical. And it's a cocktail that's stuck around. The Rob Roy, a lot of people think it's named after the Scottish folk hero, but it was in fact, and at least this is sort of apocryphal, but people say it's true, was served at an opening night party of an operetta called Rob Roy at the Waldorf Astoria, the old Waldorf Astoria. So the show's built around these stories, and you can purchase a cocktail tasting flight where you can sort of drink along with the shows. We talk about them. We do mixology demonstrations via video. I don't actually do it on stage, but we do them by video the way we do on YouTube. And then as we get to the end of this section, if you've ordered the flight, the taste comes right out on the table and you drink along with the show. It really is like a perfect storm of all kinds of things for people who love nightlife, which from your introduction, it sounds like you do. And boy, there is not a show that is not made better by 2 drink minimum, I'll tell you that.
My friend Robbie Roselle calls his band the 2 drink minimum. I think that's like the perfect. Yes, that is, this is what it's about.
Yeah.
So, I'm all about it. I think this is for people in New York City who are looking for something fun to do, especially as we hit the holiday months, especially as we hit. What are we supposed to do on a Sunday at 1 o'clock? We're tired of the same brunch spots. We're looking for something new. Then this is a unique, a very unique thing. But we talk about the drinks, but you also are going to sing. So what you were talking about, the press release from my friend Dan says that you're literally singing from Cole Porter to Katy Perry.
Yeah. So they're basically 4 sections to the show. I won't bore you with like the mechanics of it, but some of the songs are sort of traditional nightlife kind of songs you might expect, Rodgers and Hart, Cole Porter, but we basically use them as a structure to tell the story. It's not necessarily me singing in a traditional cabaret act. It's a little bit more, I like to say it's a little bit more like Elaine Stritch doing her zip number, sing, tell a story, sing, tell a story, sing, tell a story. So it's a lot of that. Yeah, Katy Perry does make a little, I admit that's almost a little bit of a punchline when it comes up, but yeah, we do it for real.
So can you tell us about who's with you? Because you have a music director,
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about
My music director is an old friend of mine, Brad Vieth. He's no longer in the city full time, but he used to be, and I met him when he conducted the tour of 42nd Street I was on, so we go way back. So he's my musical director. We are negotiating with a guest star right now. When we premiered the show last year, we had a guest star, Bianca Marroquin from Broadway Chicago. She's in Chicago, or will be, so she's not available. So we haven't made that announcement yet, but we will probably have a guest star who makes an appearance and does their shtick and livens it up at a time when I need a rest.
Okay. And maybe some special guests will swing by, or maybe you'll just have a flight and you'll get up and start to sing. Who knows what's going to happen out there? Your career is interesting reading about you because you've done, I don't know, 30 plus musicals and toured and been in theater all over and did a bunch of things. But you do improv and you do comedy. And how do you describe yourself? Who are you, Robert?
I have done a lot of things over the years. I've worn a lot of hats. Rarely do I wear more than one at a time. As a kid, I started out as a singer dancer, musicals, that kind of thing. I guess I kind of saw the writing on the wall. This was going to be a character man sooner or later. So I started doing stand-up comedy. And that's about that time I was doing improv. And I kind of fell into producing kind of by accident. But for the past 10 years, I've produced some plays off Broadway. And I've also taken that co-producer, associate producer role where you help finance some bigger projects. And I guess that kind of brings us up to now. Once COVID happened and those things closed, I started mixing drinks. And so it's just, I kind of go with the flow. If the opportunity's there, I go and try and keep it exciting for myself.
Is comedy, improv, or stand-up, or telling jokes, and all of those things, it sounds so scary to me. I'll sing a song, I will tell a joke in a cabaret show, but the idea of trying to make a room full of people laugh is terrifying.
Well, you never get over being terrified, but I'm no longer afraid of bombing, which is, I think, what a lot of people get mixed up with. And I'm guessing these places. I really cut my teeth at the Duplex downtown. Mm-hmm. They still do an open mic every week. Poppy Kramer, God rest her, she's no longer with us here, but she hosted it for a long time, every Wednesday night. And it was down in the bar, and I'm sure the Duplex, you're in a fishbowl right out to the street. If you can make people laugh in that room during happy hour, you're on your way. You're on your way. And you really have to learn how to control the room. And fortunately down there, a lot of professionals came by, you're a lot of up and coming people. So you were always with good people. And I also did a number of shows, this is a while ago, at Don't Tell Mamas when they used to do Ron Poole's variety shows. And so I was on a lot of those. So I got to be on stage or on lineups with other good people. And, I bombed plenty. But the fear of that goes away. And the thing that I love about comedy and really solo performance at all is you can't blame anybody else. If it's not funny, it's up to you to make it funny. And then you do, and you carry on.
So I'm sure you're, besides making drinks and showing videos of making drinks and drinking drinks and singing songs, I'm sure you're going to have a couple of jokes sprinkled in, and it's going to be a fun time to be at your
Oh, yeah.
Broadway Barfly event.
Yeah, this is not a somber affair at all. It's very lighthearted. I think it will surprise people, I hope, how interesting some of it is, though. It is lighthearted, but there's a lot of information in it, which that's what's kept me interested in doing this, because somebody at the beginning when I was doing like a show and a cocktail, somebody said, you're going to run out of ideas. Like there are only so many references. I was like, maybe, but then you just keep digging and digging. Alcohol has been around a long time.
Yes.
People have been drinking for a long time. Theater folks really like to drink and have been drinking for a long time. And so there's really a lot of information and people have written books about it, actually. There was a book, you may know it. I'm not going to get the name right, but like some professor at NYU, I think, just wrote a book recently during this COVID period about alcohol and cocktails that shows up on stage. Yeah.
Really? That's so. I know a lot of people who are alcohol aficionados who love a night out. So this is a perfect event for you. I find it so interesting. We talked about comedy. We talked about singing. We talked about making drinks. And then you also say you're a producer. Producer folks with like Sheer Madness and Forbidden Broadway and things like that have run for, eternity. Was that a decision? I don't know. What makes someone want to be a producer?
Well, that was born out of being an actor. A friend of mine, actually David Parr, who is part of Boundless Theater, that is actually the producer of Broadway Barfly. I'm not wearing the producer hat solely on this one. Tommaso Cartia and David. Anyway, he wrote a play quite a while ago that there was a role in it for me. And us sort of Mickey and Judy, let's put on a show, did a showcase, and then we got a little bit of attention. We took it up to Provincetown, and all of a sudden I was a kind of a producer, but I realized I didn't know what I was doing. So there was an organization called CTI, which you might know or have heard of, Commercial Theater Institute. I think they're defunct or in limbo right now, but I got accepted into their program. And so for 14 weeks, you go to these classes once a week, and you're mentored by like the top echelon of Broadway, Kevin McCullum and David Stone and folks from the Nederlanders and the Schuberts and all that. And so that's kind of how I got into the producer category. My first show, I won't go into the whole story because it's not about Broadway Barfly, but I had an opportunity to be a lead producer on a Tennessee Williams play that had played in a little theater in London called the Two Character Play. And they were going to be doing it in Provincetown, and through an odd series of events, which I won't bore you with, it landed in my lap. Do you want to produce it in New York? And I thought, well, it's a little tiny show. It's Tennessee Williams. Let's see how hard it is. And boy, did I learn. But we ended up having to recast it because of some equity things. But we had Amanda Plummer and Brad Dourif and Tennessee Williams off Broadway. We were New York Times critics' pick, which is about 10 years ago now. So all of a sudden I was a producer. Who would have thunk, right?
Who would have thunk? You were a producer, and now you're a producer, and you can produce, and you can wear all these hats. As you said, you wear a bunch of hats. I love the idea. So when Broadway Barfly came out, and you started over COVID, and you started the YouTube channel, and then you started to gain a little bit of traction, did you ever think it would turn in? Like, when did you have the idea like this can be a live event?
Early on, when I was during the COVID time, when I was posting, people were actually watching these videos sort of in real time because nobody had anything else to do. And so I would do like a show and cocktail pairing, like, for example, Company and, well, you know which cocktail comes from Company, the vodka.
Yes, actually.
And so I would do like a little pairing video of that. And then I would do two accompanying videos. One where I would do sort of an alternate cocktail video, and I showed how to make a homemade creme de menthe, that you could just make at home because people weren't going out to the stores all that much, or maybe didn't have money to spend on lots of liquor. And then I would post a video clip of something from the show of, God bless, a friend of mine who has an enormous video library, just opened it up to me and let me post these things. So once I established that pattern, I thought, well, this could make like a nice little corporate event or something, where like a Musical Mondays or something, which I think they're reviving now at the bar at Yotel, right? At the Green Fig. Yeah.
It's cute there, and you should go check it out.
Yeah. And, and so so early on, I kind of thought maybe this is something that could be put into a live experience. And though these have not been available to the public yet, through Boundless Theater, I have done some corporate tasting events. We do them for Zoe Clubhouse, which is a Tishman Speyer company at Rockefeller Center and at the Spiral. So they have their corporate tenants and that come in, and we set up a big video screen. And we're doing one actually 3 days after the show at 54 Below, 42.
Green
42, the other numbered name.
Yes.
And so we'll be doing like a holiday thing there. We're doing a flight of cocktails that all have a special liqueur that maybe people haven't tried before. And we show some video clips of the shows, and we do like a live mixology demonstration. It's very loose, and their staff serves the drinks and that. So yeah, it's all kind of come about. So
it's so cool. It's such a great idea. It's something so creative and original and new. I'm excited about it. And I know people can watch these videos and they could follow you. So can you tell us, so we can put it below us, and you can, if you're listening to us on Broadway Podcast Network, looking below us and find out, Robert, where can we find out more information?
Well, more information about everything I do is at BroadwayBarfly.com. That's your one-stop shopping. All the links to social media are there. The YouTube channel you can get to from there. Also, tickets to the Green Room 42 show are there. You can booking information about how to book a live event with us.
Yes.
There. So yeah, one-stop shopping, BroadwayBarfly.com.
So BroadwayBarfly.com, and then you can find everything else that you need.
Yeah, I'm most active on Facebook as far as, because that's where I started. I also post on Instagram, and I've just started doing mixology demonstrations only on TikTok, little 30-second videos. So you can find those there too. I'm sure TikTok is going to eat up you making drinks. BroadwayBarfly.com. There it is.
BroadwayBarfly.com. Then you can go subscribe to the YouTube channel, go to Facebook, go to Instagram, go to TikTok, buy your tickets to the show, get yourself a drink.
See us on December 1st. That's where I want to meet everybody in person. Yeah.
And then cheers to that. So if I'm hosting Thanksgiving, do you have is there something I should serve? Do you have the perfect holiday drink?
I have one in particular that I think a lot of people like. It's a Thanksgiving cobbler, where you may use some cranberry juice and cognac. There's a video so you can see how it's done. It's not my original one, but it's a good cocktail. And there's another one. I haven't posted the video yet, but I'll give you a preview. It's a Madras mimosa. So if it's cranberry, you can figure this out on your own even without the instructions. Cranberry juice. Well, you know what a Madras is: orange juice and cranberry juice and vodka. So this is, start with about 2 ounces of cranberry juice, half an ounce or so of either Cointreau or triple sec, and then top it off with cognac, and you'll have yourself a little Madras mimosa. It's good.
Ooh, that's perfect for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Have that, watch the parade, and be asleep by dinner. I think that sounds perfect. Congratulations on this idea. Congratulations on all this fun, creative stuff. You have that producer hat and that artist hat working together to make something really unique and fun, and we're here for it. And I hope that December 1st, you can go head over to Green Room 42 right there at the Yotel Hotel, go up to the 8th floor and have a good old time. Thank you so much for being here.
And for having me. Yeah.
Come on back anytime. Teach us how to make a drink anytime.
Hey, I am up for that. Just say when.
That's a deal. Happy holidays, and enjoy every second.
Thank you.
Thank